Well, welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Um, I'm normally sharing this class every Thursday at 7 a.m., but with the holiday, pushed it back just a little bit, and just had this thought that I really wanted to push it out there a little more and share it with some people. And I'm really excited about who's here. I just feel like it's exactly who's supposed to be here this morning, and I think and hope that it'll be really beneficial and feel really good to just start your day this way. I know it always does for me. So we'll start in a seated position today. So you can come down to your mat if it's more comfortable to sit on a bolster or a block or a blanket. Please make yourself as comfortable as you can. And I'll join you there. And probably Luna too. And I'm going to light the heart candle today. So let's just get settled in. You can close your eyes. You can let your hands rest wherever they're most comfortable. Let's take a few deep breaths. Finding a gentle posture, space through your spine. And then bring your hands one over the other on top of the heart. Begin to notice the natural flow of your breath without having to change, without having to force anything. Notice where your body is receiving that breath. Allow all of your awareness and attention to follow your breath deep inside the body. Waking up your awareness to the beat of your heart, to this first beat of life from which we grow and expand from. Let us have just a moment of silence to tune into your own prayers or gratitude or intention this morning. In a time that is really noisy with marketing and perhaps deadlines, family dynamics, and just these lodged memories in the body, may we all find stillness and freedom from that noise today. And to essentially become established in our center, become established in groundedness and love. If you'd like, if it helps to follow along, you're welcome to bat open the eyes, but also maybe just open your ears and your senses and intuitively just start to follow along here. We're going to begin, as we always begin, with the wake up routine. And that begins with the 4 thumps. So with your fingertips, you're not far from the first 2 points, finding the end of your collarbones and dropping right below that into the little hollows called K27. And begin to massage or thump into these 2 points. And you'll begin to deepen the breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose. And releasing, deep cleansing breaths. We'll maintain this cleansing breath through the next 4 exercises, allowing a deep cleansing breath to come in and to release any stagnancy or excess from the body, from the lungs. And now moving to the center of the sternum, either one or both hands, even a light fist might feel good. Sitting up a little taller, imagine like finding your confidence here as you beat into the chest. Thymus thump. Getting your immune system working strong for you this morning. Just inviting these energetic components to wake up and come online. With both hands, we'll move to the side seam of the body, either fingers or light fists. And this one's about a hand's width down from the armpit if you need a little help finding that spot. Tapping on the end of the spleen meridian. And this one's going to be really helpful as we move through this holiday season to digest not only maybe the different foods that we're eating or drinks that we're drinking, but also digesting and assimilating these experiences and the emotions that move through us. And really that's what it is, helping them move through us. Take one more deep breath here. And then as a little bonus, we'll tap around to the front of the ribs, hitting a couple more spleen points. You're in the same line as you were on the side, but just moving to the front. And then back to the side for one more breath. You can shake off the arms, and we'll do one more tap here, lightly on the cheekbones, right beneath the eyes. Tapping into the big start of the stomach meridian and helping to ground the body. This line of energy runs all the way down and off the toes. See if you can get a sense of that movement, that groundedness, deeply establishing itself in the body. Let's say thank you here, becoming really, really grateful for this practice, this time, and for this relationship that you've built and are establishing with yourself, the high self. You can pause that tapping and just rest the hands on the thighs and take a moment to just notice how you feel. Answering the question in the stillness, how do I feel in this moment? And begin to deepen your breath again. And start to bat open the eyes, lifting one arm to the sky, taking a stretch. And then as you exhale, letting that hand just drop down to the thigh. And switch sides, stretch up and let it go. Breathing in, let it go. One more time. Open the arms to a cactus shape. Sit up nice and tall and feel your elbows and forearms stretching out. Deep cleansing breath. As you inhale, open the arms, and then exhale to begin to cross crawl, opposite hand to thigh, coming through that cactus shape. We're doing a gentle opening as you twist and weave your arms through your field. Helping to connect the left and right hemispheres of the brain with the left and right sides of the body, and allowing the brain and body to come into balance and into harmony and a sort of coordination. Find a rhythm that feels soothing to you. Then start to slow it down and land both hands in front of the pubic bone, either on the body or out in the field. Take a little loop with the shoulders, a broadness across the chest, arms relaxed. Take a moment here to set an intention. Let this first intention, we'll do this 3 times, this first intention to be just for this practice. Let a word bubble up and trust what comes. And holding that intention in your mind, you'll zip straight at the center of the body, lifting overhead. And exhale, spread that intention out into your field, across your mat, into your room. Hands come back to the pubic bone. Allow your breath to flow seamlessly. And for this second zip up, send your loving attention or energy to somebody else that might need it today, or to a group of people that you'd like to direct your loving kindness. And once you hold them in your mind and your heart, take your next zip up, coming straight at the center of the body and spreading that out into your world, into the space beyond this room. Come back to the pubic bone. And for our final zip up, sending a loving kindness intention to this universe, to this whole world, to every being. Let it spread out beyond this planet into the ether. Let it ripple out from this point in time and space. And one more time, sending that right up the central column and spreading it out in every direction. Bring the middle finger to the belly button and the other middle finger to your third eye. Press into these 2 points and draw up for 3 more cleansing breaths. Connecting the core energy that runs around the body. Inviting a structural integrity. Just making these connections with your body, with the energy, with your intention. Allow the hands to come back to the thighs, taking a quiet moment to ground. Notice how you feel in body, mind, and spirit. Begin to notice the sensations as they arise. And allow that sensation to move and to be felt. Remind yourself here that your ability to sense and feel is a superpower. It goes beyond what we normally think of as this human experience, and it goes into that spiritual realm, connecting you to that soul knowledge that guides you. And again, just sending your gratitude to this experience of being able to sense and feel, however subtle or strong, without expectation. Thank you. Bring attention now to your breath and allow your inhale and exhale to come into equal lengths, samavriti. If it helps, counting to a pace of 4 or 5, exhaling to a count of 4 or 5, and beginning to establish your yogic breath, breathing in and out through the nose. We'll bring our hands to the sternum and just massage in between the ribs here, pressing in and pulling apart everywhere from below the collarbones, down the breastbone, even a little under the breast. And anytime you feel like deep cleansing breath would feel good to you today, feel free to take that, just allowing the excess energy to release, to transform, to let go. It's really the theme of this season, to be able to let go. You can shake off the hands and we'll take just a couple more breaths here, this time extending the exhale. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And this time breathing out at a count of 6 or 8. Softening the eyes, the face, breathing in for 4 or 5. And breathing out for doubly as long. Feeling every last bit of air press out by the diaphragm drawing in. Allowing a cleansing breath to come into the belly. Then press it all the way out. Last one. Take an inhale. Long exhale, and this time hold at the bottom of the breath. Just for a moment or two. Find that absolute stillness, and then take a breath in. Let it all the way out. Long exhale. Hold at the bottom of the breath. 2 more like this, breathing in gently. Breathing out completely. Hold at the bottom of the breath. And 1 more on your own. Back to your samavriti, equal waves of breath. And we'll come down, we'll come to the seat. If you have a block or a prop, you can remove it. And bend the knees so the soles of the feet are planted. The option here will be to extend the legs. So see what feels better to you as you start to explore these slow sit-ups. Super fun way to find where you're really have some weak links maybe in the core, and that's okay. There's no judgment for that. But that's sort of what we're going to be tuning into here and building that strength. You're going to wrap your arms around the ribs and the other arm around the outside of the elbow. And we're holding on to 2 points that help calm the nervous system as we move through this strength. You're just going to slowly roll down to the mat and noticing where that point is, where you start to maybe shake or heat starts to come in, and slow it down even more there. Legs extended might feel a little easier. Let the body shake here. Let everything wake up through the spine and the core. And eventually you'll come all the way down and reverse that movement coming back up, drawing the chin in. Try not to use momentum, coming up just as slow as you lowered. Eventually coming all the way up at the top. And we'll do that a few more times. Slow. Let this internal fire, flame, start to ignite. Notice if any critiques or judgment come in, and just notice. Remind yourself that this is not a performance. Nobody is judging you here. You don't need to judge yourself. We're just waking up to our bodies, to our energies. And if you find that it's actually quite challenging to come all the way down or all the way up, then just go to that point where it feels challenging and hold there for a moment. Feel the core engage, and then you might lower back down. And just work with that point that feels a little sticky or challenging. And you can do it either from the ground coming up or from seated coming down. Just finding that point, holding there, and then lifting back up. Hopefully starting to feel some heat come under the arms, maybe into the solar plexus. So wherever you're at, you'll do one more, and we're gonna meet on the mat, so coming all the way down. And when you get down to the mat, extend your legs, extend your arms, and take a full body stretch. Stretch out that belly now and breathe deeply in. Let it go. Bend your knees, roll over to your side, and come all the way to the belly. And bring your hands behind the lower back, more towards the sacrum, and turn your left cheek to the mat. We're going to move through a few locust poses here and doing some gentle heart opening today. Just allowing that energy of your intention to really establish itself in the body and in your space and field. As you take your next breath in, lift your head and shoulders and extend your right arm forward. Exhale, release right cheek down, hands come back to the back. Then switch sides. Inhale, left arm forward, lift the head and chest. That right shoulder draws back. And exhale, release, left cheek down, hand on the back. Now we'll add in the legs, opposite hand and foot. Inhale, right arm forward, left leg lifts. Exhale, right cheek down, everything releases. Inhale, left arm forward, right leg. Exhale, left cheek down. One more time each way. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, right cheek down. And switch one more time. Good. Lower everything down, bring the hands under the shoulders and press up into tabletop. Wag your hips a little side to side as you find the shape and alignment. Inhale, lower the belly, look forward, cow. Exhale, round the spine, cat. You guys know the movement. Move through the next few on your own, synchronizing the breath and the movement. And invite a fluidity into the spine. You're more than welcome here to take that movement off the railroad tracks, go a little side to side, let the neck relax or stretch the toes. Just letting it become more intuitive. We're going to come back down to the belly. So you can walk your hands forward, modified plank, and lower down, slow, 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 feeling the arms engage and hold you. And this time as you come to the belly, engage the legs. Press the pubic bone down and then lift both of the hands into a low cobra, but bringing the hands a little bit wider, almost like a cactus shape. And take 3 full breaths. Maintaining and sensing the length in the back of the neck and the spine. Space at the base of the head. Strong belly pressing into the mat. Hands come back down, press up through your table, tuck the toes, and finding downward facing dog. Let yourself journey there, right? It doesn't have to be this perfectly smooth transition. Maybe you take a child's pose in between or start to move the legs a little bit here. To see how your body feels this morning and honor that. Coming into right relationship. Noticing how you feel, listening to that inner wisdom and letting that guide your movements. Taking a walk to the front of your mat, come into a forward fold. Allowing yourself to hang. You could hold on to opposite elbows or not, your choice. Feeling the grounding of the feet. Establishing that yogic breath in and out through the nose. And then slowly bend the knees, start to roll the spine up. If you need more support here, press hands into thighs. Eyes opening as you let the blood rebalance and come into Tadasana. Standing confidently, deeply rooted in your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Celtic weave, weaving the arms across your space. When the hands come back down to the hips, lift the arms overhead, rotate to the left, Celtic weave, strengthening your boundaries, your aura. Inhale, come through center and twist to the right. Again, Celtic weave. And then intuitively weaving your hands through your space. You can come back through center and drawing this sort of figure eight, infinity sign, anywhere, everywhere through your field. They can be big, small, anywhere you feel you need a little strength or cohesion. You can go behind the body, behind the legs, low and high. If the eyes feel strange, trace them around the eyes. Connecting head and heart. Imagine that this practice, this weaving, is like threading together your field, threading together that tapestry that connects us all, connects us with ourselves. And when you feel complete, letting the hands come back down to the sides. Now we're going to start to move a little quicker here. And we're going to start it slow and it's going to build. So let's start by just pounding the heels. This is a really great cathartic release, and we're just going to start to shake everything out. So pounding the heels first, maybe even stepping the whole foot. You might find your breath wants to deepen here. Let that happen. And letting that come up through the legs a little more, kind of like a bounce. You can imagine you're on like a trampoline here. Letting the shoulders release, the arms. And hopefully, too, allowing a smile to come to your face. Letting it be childlike and playful and joyful. Maybe the arms overstretch the head. And now see, does any sound want to come out? Finish the breath that you're on. Start to slow it down. Slowing down. Back to stillness. Bring your hands together right under the jaw like you're holding your own hand. This next one is the release, a shake just for the jaw and the face and any tension we might be holding in this area of the brain. You're going to start to shake your hands and take a nice deep breath in and out. Relax the jaw and really shake the hands. Breathe in and shake it out. Release the jaw. Do that again. Nice deep breath in. And release. Relax the jaw. One more time on your own. And relax. Arms by the sides. Reestablish your yogic breath. And bring the hands behind the lower back, right behind the belly button. One hand can be over top of the other. And start to trace a circle on what's called a Ming-Man point, the sea of vitality. And this is not a massage, right? We're not trying to press into the tissues or move the bones. This is stirring up the energy of vitality, that radiant circuit energy that jumps to where it's needed, that brings you joy, that brings you healing. It's that really wise energy that just knows what's a priority and where it needs to go without having to think about it. And pause that circle and just trace the other way a few times, stirring that up. You can imagine like a pool here on your back, sending ripples through this water. And then pause that movement. Just dip your hands down towards the sacrum and come up and over the hip flexors. Flip your palms forward and backwards over the hip flexors, opening up this gate. And then letting that water pour through that as you trace it all the way up the center of the body, the throat, and cup around the mouth for 3 audible exhales. After the third breath, hands slide down over the heart, one over the other. A quiet moment, checking in, connecting to that pulse. Reminding yourself here of your intention for yourself, for someone that needs that loving kindness today, and the intention that spreads out into the world, into the universe and beyond. It ripples out infinitely. The energy that you choose to bring into this world and share with it. Bring the hands down towards the left waist. Now trace the hands across the belly to the right waist, and then just release and move them through your field back to the left. And again, it's energy, right? It's not moving the belly. I'm just going to do that 2 more times here, bringing the hands from left waist to right. And then tracing down the outside of the leg and off the pinky toe. Shake your hands up at the bottom. Hands come to the inseam of the legs, tracing back up. Flaring out at the hips, come all the way to your shoulders, and then down to the spleen points on the ribs that you massaged earlier, tapped earlier, and give a little buzz. Now we'll start at the right waist, dragging across to the left. Lightly through your field, trace across. And one more time. Now going down the outside of the leg and off the pinky toe. Tracing back up the center line, up the inseam, flare out at the hips, coming up to shoulders and down to the side body. Give a little buzz, nice deep breath. Step onto the long edge of your mat, or if Depending how you're set up, maybe just step off to the sides of your mat. Either way will work. Bring your hands to your waist and stand up nice and tall. You have your superhero cape flying behind you. Are you feeling the strength of the legs? It's this superhuman, superpower energy. And tapping into how that feels. How does it feel to be strong and confident? To be joyful? And we'll fold from the hips. Straight spine as you lower down. You'll go as far as you can go. You'll know. The legs will let you know. And when you don't fold anymore, let your hands come down to the ground or to a block. Wrap your peace fingers around the big toe, covering both the inside and outside edges of the toenail. Elbows point out to the side. Let your head release as you give yourself a little tug, bringing space between the shoulder blades and feeling the backs of the legs get really long as you fold. Connect to your breath. Listen to your body. Release peace fingers. Bring the left hand to the center of the mat, right underneath of your face. Now you have a straight spine. And if the ground is far away, fill that with a block. Right arm twists out and up into a twist. If it's okay for the neck, gaze up past the thumb. Otherwise, just gaze out to the side. Spine long. Release, right hand comes down, replacing the left, and twist, left arm comes out and up. Just go to your extent, connecting to your breath. Release, left hand down. Bring your hands to the big toe again, and we'll trace up the inseam of the leg, just helping nourish the body, helping to integrate and assimilate, coming up towards the shoulders, down to the spleen point. Give a buzz here. Remember, this is the energy that helps digest. You can just walk or hop the feet together and sweep your hands around to the low back, really on top of the hips. And this is your support for a standing back bend. So start to press your feet down into the mat, pressing down and forward through the hips, feeling the center of your chest start to lift, as if your heart could beat out of your chest, giving it that space to do so. Shoulders start to open. And this might be really subtle, right? Like I'm not in a huge back bend here, but I can definitely feel that. I can feel the strength of my legs starting to come into play. Make sure the neck feels okay. You don't need to dip the head back to open the heart. You can really focus in the chest here first, and then as it becomes available, maybe the head lifts up. And then breathe right into this space that we're opening across the chest, the sternum, the collarbones. Stay grounded in the feet. Notice if all the weight has gone to the toes and re-ground the heels. And then slowly release, just bringing yourself back through center. We're going to do a couple more standing back bends here. Lift your arms all the way overhead and bring all the fingertips to touch. Thumbs come down to the heart, and the index fingers drop in towards the base of the throat. So we have like this mudra through the arms, through the hands, and we're plugging into the heart and throat. Now re-ground the feet. Establish the strength in the legs. Maybe you take a little loop with your shoulders, drawing the heart open. And lift up into the space between the hands. Standing back bend. Tuning into your capacity to communicate and express love from a calm, centered place, an unconditional love, a love that just recognizes the light within, a love that you have for yourself, and speaking from that place, dropping out of the head and into the space beneath the hands, completing the breath that you're on, and then gently bring yourself back to center. Release the hands down to your sides. Human touching the divine. We're going to bring in our S sound for the season of fall and this emotion of grief, and helping us to let go and to move through these cycles, to help move through whatever it is that we feel and experience this season. And we'll do this in a series of 3 back bends. The first one is low, opening the chest, opening the arms. As you exhale, S sound, hugging around a big tree, the fingers almost touch. Opening to the height of the shoulders, hugging forward with your S sound. Opening overhead in a surrendering kind of position, opening up and letting whatever it is that you need to just funnel in here. Take one more breath at the top. Exhale, S sound, hands come overhead. Keep that sound going as you slide down the backs of the arms and land on the upper outer chest for 2 more S breaths. And the hands down to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, arms come overhead. Celtic weave coming down into your forward fold. Bend the knees, balancing on the toes for blowing out the candle. This is metal moving into the element of water and helping us move into whatever comes next with courage. Even though we might not know what it looks like or how it's going to unfold, we can trust this innate wisdom. We can trust how we're being guided. And the energy of that is courage. So here we'll use the sound WHO, but it's almost more like CHO, like as you inhale, let the chin drop. Exhale, blow out and forward. Inhale, looking down. Blow it out and forward. The courage to move into the unknown. One more time. Release hands to the mat. Step back into your tabletop. Traction through the spine from the base of the tailbone to the base of the head. Extend your right leg back and engage the lower belly. Left arm forward, finding your balance. Option to stay here, or if you can, bend the knee and reach back, finding the foot. If you find the foot, press into K1, kidney 1, in between the big toe and the second toe, and the base of the foot. And then kick into your hand, finding a deeper back bend here. Lifting that left, or opening the left shoulder, lifting your gaze. Breathe. Release, tabletop. Switch sides, left leg back. Right arm forward. This is a great place to stay. You could even lift your thumb and heel if you wanted to explore a baby back bend. If it's available, bend the knee and reach back for your foot, finding the base of the big toe and pressing into that point. Opening this point that draws energy up from the earth. And then kicking into the hand. Gaze comes forward and breathe. The spotlight of your heart is illuminated. Release, tabletop. Downward facing dog, tuck your toes, lift the hips. Come into stillness if you can. The lower ribs lift up towards the spine, a sort of knitting through the torso. Head is relaxed, gazing back past the shins. Moving with your breath, inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Finding that intuitive flow between these two postures, maybe a bend in the knees to transition, maybe a little more roll through the spine. You find what feels good. And on this next one, we'll hold our plank pose for 5 strong breaths. Option to drop the knees to the mat. I love this posture, this simple pose for helping us find the balance between effort and ease, maintaining a sense of peacefulness in the mind, even when the body starts to really fire up or face a challenge. And then transitioning into a side plank. Again, option to keep the knees down. Let's start with the left hand coming towards the center of the mat and the right arm opening. Breathing here, find a place to steady your gaze. Awesome, lower back down. Let's switch sides. Relax jaw. And release, come back to your plank pose. Downward facing dog for just a moment to stretch out the arms, the spine. Maybe you let the head rock a little, yes, no. And lower to your mat into child's pose. Let your arms go wherever they're comfortable. You might cross them under the forehead or wrap them around the heels or low back. Curling into a cocoon, a safe cave. And having a quiet conversation with yourself, your high self. Both listening and responding with kindness. Reminding yourself that you're safe. And making a pact with that inner wisdom, with your high self, making a pact to be really kind to yourself. Making a pact to listen and to honor. Making a pact, and maybe this is the most important of all, to not fight yourself. Establishing a pact of peace. Begin to gently lift the head off the hands and come forward onto your forearms. Knees come underneath of the hips. Bring your hands over the forehead, eyes, and cheeks as you rest on your elbows. Allow the heart to melt. The back of the heart to soften. Release the hands. Come all the way down to your belly. Crossing the forearm or crossing the hands once again and resting the back of the head on the back of the hands. And rock your hips gently side to side. Pause that movement. You can either rest here, or if you feel you want a little more movement in the hips, you can bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs side to side. And when you feel complete in your movement, releasing the feet down, turning the toes out and the heels in. And then allowing everything to soften here. Deep rest for your nervous system. Begin to slowly bring hands under shoulders, the tops of the feet back down. We're just going to roll over to the back. Bend your knees and set up for a bridge pose. Hands come alongside the torso. Press into the feet, lift your hips and lift your arms, reaching back behind you. Exhale and lower hips and hands, synchronizing the movement. Flowing bridge. Go on your own. And on this last one, keep the hips lifted. Let the arms only lower down. Option to interlace hands behind the back, rolling the shoulders under you to lift the hips just a little more, or stay just as you are. Breathe into the belly, pressing evenly into the soles of the feet, thighs parallel. Release the hands from under the back, let the knees come down and draw the legs in towards the chest, giving yourself a hug. Movement or not, rocking or stillness. Right knee stays into the, actually let's keep both knees bent here. You can bring your arms out to a T, let the feet come down to the mat. Bump your left hip to the center of the mat. Now bring your knees back in towards the chest and roll to the left into a twist. If it feels like that right knee wants to pop up, you can place a hand on top of the thigh. If you'd like to take up more space here, extend the right leg, holding behind the crease of the knee. If you can find that point, those points behind the knee, you can even just visualize these 2 points if you can't quite reach them. They're known as the achievers of the impossible. So whatever you may have thought was out of reach or impossible, just reminding yourself here that anything is possible. Literally anything is possible. Everything is energy, and energy has the capacity to shift, to change, to transform. Achievers of the impossible. If the leg's extended, rebend the knee. Come back to center and realign the hips. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Right hip comes to the center of the mat, draw the knees into the chest and roll to the right. Option to extend the left leg and hold behind the crease of the knee. Find a comfortable place to rest your gaze. Notice where is your awareness right now. And see if you can expand your awareness across the entire body through your entire field of energy. And breathe in a way that the whole self is receiving that breath. Not just the areas of strong sensation, but breathing into your whole being. Allowing the whole body to recognize its wholeness. Bend the top knee, come back to center. You can draw your knees into the chest one more time, holding onto the kneecaps, and then circle the knees in any way that feels good, or just hold in that bean shape. You might circle them apart or rock a little side to side. Option for forehead to come to knees. And then we're going to come all the way down, extending the legs. And I'm going to offer you one more hold here before we come into full Shavasana, but make yourself comfortable here first. So if you have a blanket or a bolster or both, use those to prop yourself up, maybe under the knees, cover yourself up, use it as a pillow. Kind of a pre-Shavasana. We're going to bring the left hand over the heart. Tune into the beating of your heart, the pulse. And let the right hand scan around the body. Scanning, intuitively guided. And if you come across any area that would like to receive this energy of the heart, just let your hand drop onto that part. Hands like jumper cables connecting this energy. Leave the logic aside for now and just trust. There's a stat that I don't know if I'm going to get exactly right, but it's something to the effect of 94, 95 or more percent of the universe is unseen. Meaning the physical, the things that we can see, is such a small component of our experience. And if we limit ourselves to that 4 or 5% of what we can see, what a world we're missing out on. Allow yourself to open up, allow your mind and heart to open to this possibility, to the unseen dimensions, to this superpower of being able to feel and sense. And if you feel complete wherever your hands landed, you're more than welcome to scan and continue to practice this heart connection, this heart anchor and wander. When you do feel complete, you can just allow your hands to rest wherever they'd like. Maybe they stay on the body or come off to the side or rest over the kitty cat that loves to join in Shavasana. And we'll take these last few moments to just be, in ease and allow the flow of energy to move through you, through the spaces that may have been blocked or dark before, to receive that light of energy, the light of love, of gratitude. As yogis, we know, but sometimes need to be reminded that everything is connected. There's not a single cell that isn't a part of a larger whole. May you feel or visualize or sense, in whatever that is for you, whatever way, the wholeness of your being, the cohesion of your cells, and your connection not only with yourself, but with every other living being, with every piece of nature, every person, everything. If you have the time and would like to stay here longer, feel free to do so. If you are ready to move on to this beautiful Thursday, allow your breath to begin to deepen and reawaken the body from the inside out. Allow the deeper breath to radiate through the toes, the limbs, the arms, fingers. Moving in any way that feels good to reawaken for a second time today. And when you're ready, bending one knee at a time and making your way to a cross-legged seat.